The memoir of J.D. Vance's early years comes to the big screen in the most recent film directed by Ron Howard. But does it deliver? Hello everybody, this is Ben Caberly here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing for new content here on this channel. Thank you for joining me today. In my previous video, I discussed my thoughts on the 2016 memoir of J.D. Vance's childhood and young adult years. Now I give you my thoughts on the recent cinematic treatment of his book. In this video, I will be talking about Netflix's adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy. It was the first movie I watched this year for 2021. Hillbilly Elegy was directed by Ron Howard and stars Amy Adams, Glenn Close, Gabriel Basso, Haley Bennett, and Frida Pinto among the main cast. I watched Hillbilly Elegy because I had heard recent words surrounding the controversy that this movie was receiving in regards to the mixed to negative reviews that the film had been receiving from mainstream critics. I was going through some of the reviews, the mixed to negative reviews that Hillbilly Elegy, the film, had been receiving. And what interested me is, in contrast to the mixed and negative reviews that critics were giving it, I went on Internet Movie Database, and to my surprise, I was seeing a lot of positive reviews for Hillbilly Elegy. A lot of 8 out of 10 reviews, a lot of 9 out of 10 reviews, and a lot of perfect 10 out of 10 reviews for this particular movie. With all this controversy and the uproar regarding this movie, I wanted to get a hold of this movie and watch this movie for myself, and I was very intrigued by this story in particular. With that in mind, I initially read J.D. Vance's 2016 memoir of the same name, Hillbilly Elegy. I read the book first. The book was published in 2016, coinciding with a rather divisive election of that year. As we all know how that election unfolded pretty much. Following my perusal of the book, I went on to watch the Netflix film adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy, and now I'm here to give you my feelings and thoughts regarding this particular film. Hillbilly Elegy is about the childhood and young adult years of J.D. Vance's life. This movie largely takes place in the years 1997, when J.D. Vance was only a boy when he was a child growing up in Ohio, and 2011, when at the time J.D. was a student at Yale Law School, studying law at Yale Law in particular. He has family that originated from the state of Kentucky. His grandparents, Mama and Papa, as he refers to them in the story, during the mid-20th century, so we're talking the post-war era, the late 1940s, early 1950s. They migrated from the state of Kentucky all the way to the state of Ohio for better opportunities on a personal level and an occupational level. And the book explores that a lot more, but the movie scratches slightly beneath the surface regarding that particular subject in his familial background. When he was at Yale Law School, he got called home. He got called to come home because his mother, unfortunately, had a drug lapse. You see that in the movie. You see that earlier on in the movie, that he has to go home back to Ohio to check up on his mother, to check up on his family. Along the way, in the present day scenes, which happens to be in the year 2011 in this movie, he ponders and he reflects on everything that happened earlier on in his life and with his family in particular, from his mother and to his mamaw, played by Glenn Close. Glenn Close portrays his grandmother, who he refers to as Mamaw. What I liked about Hillbilly Elegy is I thought the acting was pretty good, especially among Amy Adams and Glenn Close in particular. I thought they both gave pretty good performances in this movie. Another performance that kind of caught my eye, that kind of struck me, is Haley Bennett as JD's sister, Lindsay. I thought she gave a pretty good performance too. It's interesting that I came to notice and came to realize that Haley Bennett had also appeared in the 2016 film based on the book of the same name, The Girl in the Train. So it was interesting to watch Girl in the Train and then go on to watch this movie and see her in a different role from that one, especially. And I thought she gave a good performance in this movie, definitely, as JD's sister, Lindsay. What I didn't like about Hillbilly Elegy is, personally, I thought the last quarter of the movie, the last half hour of the movie, felt a little bit rushed when it shows JD going off to make a life for himself, being a part of the Marine Corps, joining the Marine Corps for 4 years, and in addition, seeing the last final days of Mamaw, JD's grandmother, and unfortunately seeing her on her deathbed. I felt the last half hour of the movie was a little bit rushed because there was so much build up with the story in particular, and then it felt like the last quarter of the movie, the last 30 minutes, it just felt very scrapped and put together at the last minute, which is kind of frustrating, I would say. I kind of wish they could have delved and digged into those particular chapters and those particular episodes in JD's life even further, most definitely. And I definitely understand the argument among some people that I've read online that maybe Hillbilly Elegy would have been better off as a limited series or a mini-series in particular. When you do a 2-hour film based off a book that's 260 pages long, you can only cram so much story. You can only cram so much of the story into an almost 2-hour movie. And you see that when you're watching the movie, especially. However, one positive I would say about Hillbilly Elegy is the acting transformations, especially those of Amy Adams and Glenn Close. I thought it was just very fascinating to see how they were able to transform into their characters for this movie. Now, if you go on Google, if you go online and you look up the real-life counterparts of the characters portrayed by Amy Adams and Glenn Close, it's so fascinating and very interesting to see how much Amy Adams and Glenn Close were able to resemble the people in real life that they were portraying on the screen for this particular picture. I just thought that was really cool and really fascinating to see pictures of them in real life and see how much they paralleled the appearances of Amy Adams and Glenn Close portraying them on the screen, most definitely. So I thought that was very interesting, fascinating to see there. Overall, how did I feel about this movie? I would say, although I wouldn't say Hillbilly Elegy isn't a masterpiece or anything groundbreaking, I still enjoyed it. I liked Hillbilly Elegy a lot more than I thought I would initially. Now, do I think Hillbilly Elegy is a Best Picture contender and even a Best Picture winner? No, probably not. I don't think it's worthy. It's not an excellent movie. It's not a perfect movie in any way, and I can understand why some people are giving this movie mixed to negative reviews. I can understand some of the criticisms of some of the flack that the story in particular received, but personally, I liked it, and I think part of the reason why I liked it more is probably because I myself, like J.D.Vance, come from a working class background and a working class family, so the story hit very much close to home. You know, just seeing everything that unfolded in his life, good and bad. I thought the acting was really good, especially from Amy Adams playing against type as Bev, the troubled, drug-addicted mother of JD, and Glenn Close, of course, as Mama. She went on to receive her 8th Oscar nomination as Mama in Hillbilly Elegy. I found it nice to get to the end of the movie and see how much the actors were made to resemble their real-life counterparts. Now, I know I'm reiterating a lot of my points that I've expressed a little earlier on in this video. I felt that the casting department did a great job in finding the right actors for the lead roles, especially Amy Adams and Glenn Close. A thing that caught my eye and that I find interesting about the film adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy is the apolitical stance the movie took. Now, if you are like me and you have read the book, you definitely know how political and how very open J.D.Vance is and was about his opinions and his views on his childhood, his upbringing, his family, his environment growing up in Ohio, and everything that he experienced and everything that he witnessed in his life. Interesting enough, I could understand both sides of the argument over the apolitical part of Hillbilly Elegy. I can understand the one argument that they're trying to make Hillbilly Elegy into a more clean-cut, innocuous film. I know I'm overstating here when I say clean-cut and innocuous, especially as you know how the story unfolds and what J.D. Vance's life was like growing up in Ohio. Then I can understand the other side about how the political part, the politics in the book, you know, are what very much shaped the book and what shaped the story, and that are very much omitted out of the story. So I can understand both sides of the argument. There are definitely two sides of the coin here. Would I recommend Hillbilly Elegy? Yeah, I would recommend Hillbilly Elegy. Now, I can understand and that this story is probably not for everyone. This movie may not be for everybody. There are people who who very much dislike this movie, who don't like this movie, who are very turned off by the story, and who are very turned off by the subject matter. Again, I understand, you know, and it's okay, it's fine, you know, if everyone didn't enjoy or like this movie, and that's totally fine, you know, you're not hurting my feelings, no hard feelings whatsoever, I would say. But I would recommend it to those who are interested in this particular story and would like to get to know more about this movie in particular, especially if you're like me, you've read the book and you want to see how the story was executed and how the story was told cinematically. Every movie and story has its purpose, and I agree, every movie and story has its purpose, and I think it's interesting to know in point, you know, when this movie was made and when this movie was released, and how everything that we're experiencing and that we've experienced in the last 4 years during the Trump years, and how very much coincides with everything that happened and unfolded in this particular story now that we're done with the Trump presidency and now that we have a new president in particular. Again, I apologize if I'm getting a little too political here, but if you're familiar with Hillbilly Elegy and you're familiar with this particular story, you know, politics and the story very much go hand in hand no matter how overt one takes it, especially. I definitely do believe that the working class definitely needs more stories told about them and more authenticity on screen. So, at least Hillbilly Elegy in a way is kind of opening a conversation and opening a discussion on the portrayals of the white working class in America and how much their lives and how much their situations have unfolded, especially during these last 4 years and in this new chapter in our nation. Anyway, that is all for my film review video on Hillbilly Elegy. Now I want to toss the ball into your court. Let me know in the comments section. What were your thoughts on Hillbilly Elegy? Did you like this movie? Did you dislike this movie? Let me know in the comments section. Also, what were your thoughts on the acting performances in this movie? Did you like the acting in this movie? Did you dislike the acting in this movie? Was there a particular acting performance that caught your eye or that struck you in any way? Let me know in the comments section. Also, what were your thoughts on the performances of Amy Adams and Glenn Close in particular? Let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear and read about it from each and every one of you. Also, let me know in the comments section, have you read the book Hillbilly Elegy by J.D.Vance that inspired the movie that I just discussed and talked about you here in this video? What were your thoughts on the book in contrast to the movie and how they compare and how they juxtapose one another? Let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear and peruse about it from each and every one of you. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed and liked this video. If you enjoyed and liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, the thumbs up sign, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing for new content here on this channel. I apologize that I haven't made any newer recent videos recently. My life has just been so busy and so hectic on a personal level and work-wise, you know. I just started a new job a couple months ago as of the shooting of this video, and my life has just been so busy with work and so preoccupied with work. Hopefully I will try as much as I can to make, shoot, and upload more videos here for all of you in the near future. I really hope so. That's what I hope to do in the months to come as I'm trying to make my way and navigate my way through 2021. Anyway, thank you all for watching and taking the time and going out of your way to watch my feelings and my thoughts regarding the Netflix's film adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in my follow-up video, in my next video. Thank you for watching my feelings and thoughts on Netflix's film adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy, directed by Academy Award-winning director Ron Howard, and starring Amy Adams, Glenn Close, Gabriel Basile, Haley Bennett, and Frida Pinto. I hope you have a great day, great evening and night, whenever and wherever you are watching this video currently. I hope you are all healthy and well, and I wish you all a great day, evening, or night. Take care, everybody. Bye!